What Most People Never Learn About Money by David Russo. Chapter 1. The Hidden Rules of Money. Most people grow up believing money is simple. You earn it through work, put some aside, and spend the rest. But that belief leaves out a crucial truth. Money doesn't operate the way most people think it does. Beneath the surface are unspoken rules that determine who builds lasting wealth and who remains trapped in a cycle of financial stress. Learning these rules isn't optional if you want real financial independence. It's the foundation. The first hidden rule is that money functions as a system, not just a tool. Many people see money as nothing more than a paycheck or a bank balance. In reality, money is a framework for measuring value and influence. It exists because people collectively agree it has worth. That agreement creates a system, one that rewards certain actions and quietly penalizes others. Simply working hard doesn't guarantee success. Saving money matters, but by itself it rarely leads to wealth. Those who get ahead are the ones who understand how the system operates and align their choices to benefit from it. The second rule is the difference between being rich and being wealthy, which most people mix up. Being rich often means having a high income and an expensive lifestyle, nice homes, luxury cars, impressive vacations. Wealth is something else entirely. Wealth is freedom. It's the ability to make decisions without constant financial pressure. True wealth depends on what you keep, what you grow, and how well you protect it. Without the right habits and structure, even someone earning an enormous salary can end up financially fragile. The third rule centers on time and patience. Despite what social media might suggest, lasting wealth is rarely fast. It's built through forces that work quietly in the background: compounding growth, inflation, opportunity cost, and human behavior. People who chase quick wins or focus only on income often miss these forces and stall out. Meanwhile, those who apply these principles steadily, even without flashy results, can accumulate significant wealth over the long term. Another unspoken rule involves education. Most people are taught math in school, but very few are taught how money actually works, how to grow it, use it strategically, or defend it from loss. This gap in knowledge isn't accidental. It's one of the main reasons the majority of adults never reach financial independence. The common advice, get a job, work hard, save a little, and hope everything works out, sounds safe, but it rarely leads to true security. People who understand money at a deeper level take a different route, guided by strategy, awareness, and an understanding that effort alone isn't enough. If you want results that most people never achieve, the first step isn't earning more money. It's learning how the game is played. Once you understand the hidden rules, your choices, how you spend, save, invest, and evaluate risk start to fall into place. Over time, money stops being something you chase and becomes something that works on your behalf. By the end of this book, you'll realize that what most people never learn about money isn't a secret loophole or a lucky shortcut. It's a way of thinking, a mindset paired with practical strategy that reshapes how you interact with the financial world. And once you grasp it, you'll be operating with an advantage most people never even know exists. Chapter 2. Mindsets that kill financial growth. When it comes to building wealth, how you think about money often matters more than how much you earn. Someone can make a high income, follow popular investing advice, and live modestly, yet still fail to create long-term financial security. The reason is simple: limiting beliefs quietly sabotage progress. More often than not, the greatest barrier to financial success isn't the market, inflation, or debt. It's the mindset behind every financial decision. Here's an important reality to understand. Your relationship with money mirrors your beliefs. If you see money as scarce, believe wealth is reserved for a select few, or assume financial success depends on luck or extreme risk, your behavior will reflect that. You may delay learning about finances, avoid investing altogether, or settle for comfort instead of growth. In contrast, viewing money as a practical tool, something that can be managed, grown, and used intentionally, opens the door to opportunity. This mindset encourages learning, thoughtful risk-taking, and personal investment that pays off over time. One of the most damaging beliefs is a scarcity mindset. This way of thinking is driven by fear. Fear of losing, fear of running out, fear of making the wrong move. People trapped here often cling tightly to money, shy away from opportunities, or refuse to spend even when it would improve their future. Living in constant financial fear leads to stress and reactive decisions. An abundance mindset, on the other hand, recognizes that money can be generated and expanded through smart choices. It's not about being careless. It's about understanding that growth comes from intentional action and long-term thinking. Another major obstacle is focusing too much on the short term. Many people want fast results, a sudden raise, a quick profit, or immediate proof that their efforts are working. But meaningful wealth rarely happens overnight. Those who succeed financially play the long game. They value patience, understand compounding, and accept delayed gratification. Small, consistent habits, saving regularly, improving financial literacy, and avoiding impulse spending may seem insignificant at first, but they add up to powerful results over time. A different but equally harmful mindset is tying money to personal value. When self-worth becomes linked to income or net worth, financial decisions often become emotional rather than strategic. This can lead to overspending, chasing status, or taking unnecessary risks to appear successful. Real financial growth begins when you separate who you are from how much you earn. Confidence should come from discipline, knowledge, and habits, not from numbers on a bank statement. Fear is another major factor that quietly blocks financial progress. It shows up as fear of failure, fear of criticism, or fear of losing what you've already built. This fear prevents people from starting new ventures, investing in themselves, or stepping outside their comfort zone. While fear is natural, letting it control your decisions leads to stagnation. Progress happens when choices are guided by education and logic, not emotion. The core lesson is this: money follows mindset. If you want to escape financial frustration, you must first challenge the beliefs holding you back. Ask yourself honest questions. Do I view money as a resource or a risk? Am I planning for the future or chasing immediate results? Am I avoiding growth because of fear? Changing how you think about money isn't instant, but it's essential. Once your mindset shifts, opportunities become easier to recognize, decisions become clearer, and financial growth becomes a realistic, achievable path rather than a distant dream. Chapter 3: The Illusion of Income. Many believe that financial security comes from simply earning more. If only I made more money, everything would be easier, they tell themselves. But this assumption misses a crucial reality. Higher income doesn't automatically translate into wealth. Even someone earning six figures, or far more, can feel financially trapped if they lack the right habits and planning. This is why income can be so deceptive. Consider two individuals with identical salaries. One spends impulsively, struggles with debt, and has no long-term plan. The other saves strategically, invests thoughtfully, and spends deliberately. Over time, their lives diverge dramatically. One remains under constant financial pressure, while the other steadily builds stability and freedom. The difference isn't luck, it's mindset and disciplined money management. Income often misleads because of lifestyle inflation. As earnings rise, expenses tend to climb in parallel. Occasional luxuries become regular habits. Modest homes are replaced with bigger ones, and everyday purchases are swapped for premium alternatives. That raise meant to change, everything quietly disappears. On paper, earnings increase, but real financial improvement may never materialize. True wealth isn't how much you make, it's how much you keep and grow. Hidden costs further erode income. Taxes, interest, subscriptions, and everyday spending quietly chip away at earnings. A high salary may look impressive, yet leave little room for saving or investing. Without awareness and planning, money leaks away, which explains why many high earners still feel stuck. This isn't about extreme frugality, it's about control. Give your money a purpose. Save first, invest regularly, spend intentionally. This transforms you from reacting to finances into actively directing them. Simple habits, like automated savings or investment contributions, compound over time into meaningful wealth. True financial growth is rarely sudden. It accumulates through consistent, disciplined action. Relying on a high paycheck can also create a false sense of security. Income feels steady until unexpected events strike. Job loss, inflation, illness, or emergencies can quickly undo comfort. Real protection comes from systems, emergency funds, diversified investments, and multiple income streams. Depending solely on one paycheck is riskier than most realize. The central lesson: chasing higher income alone yields limited results. The real goal is learning how to protect, grow, and leverage what you earn. When that perspective shifts, money stops being a scoreboard and becomes a tool. Financial progress accelerates, not because the paycheck grows, but because your approach to money evolves. Chapter 4. How money really works. Most people earn, spend, and save without truly seeing the forces shaping their money. They treat it like a static object, but in reality, money behaves like a living system, governed by invisible rules that can either help you grow wealth or quietly erode it. To achieve lasting financial security, you need to understand the key forces at play: interest, inflation, taxes, and debt. Though invisible, these forces affect your financial life every single day. Let's start with interest, the kind you earn and the kind you pay. Interest isn't just a financial term. It's the price of using money over time. When you save or invest, interest compounds in your favor, steadily expanding your wealth. Picture planting a seed. The longer it stays nurtured, the larger it grows. On the flip side, borrowing can turn interest into an adversary. Loans, credit cards, and other high-interest debts can swell faster than your income, quietly undermining your stability. Learning how interest compounds, positively or negatively, is one of the most powerful financial tools you can master. Next is inflation, the quiet thief of purchasing power. Over time, money loses value as prices rise. A dollar today buys more than a dollar 10 years from now. Many people underestimate this effect, leaving cash in low-yield accounts while costs climb, creating a false sense of security. Protecting yourself from inflation means investing in assets that grow faster than rising prices: stocks, real estate, or other vehicles that preserve and increase your wealth over time. Taxes are another often overlooked factor. While unavoidable, understanding them can save you substantial money throughout your life. Income tax, capital gains, property taxes, and other levies quietly chip away at earnings and investment returns. Yet most financial decisions are made without considering the tax consequences. Smart planning isn't just about what you earn, it's about what you keep. By learning legal ways to reduce taxable income, defer gains, and optimize investments, you can hold onto more of your money. Finally, there's debt, a topic that brings fear and confusion. Debt isn't inherently bad. What matters is how you use it. Bad debt, like high-interest credit cards or loans for depreciating items, can trap you in financial struggle. Good debt, on the other hand, can be a strategic tool, leveraging money to create opportunities through business ventures, real estate, or income-generating assets. Controlling debt instead of being controlled by it is a key skill for financial growth. When you understand these four forces: interest, inflation, taxes, and debt, money starts to look different. It's no longer just a paycheck or bank balance. It's a dynamic system influenced by your choices, knowledge, and habits. Those who grasp its mechanics can accelerate wealth, while those who ignore them often remain stuck, regardless of income. The bottom line: understanding how money works is invisible power. It determines whether you are at the mercy of financial forces or using them to your advantage. Once you comprehend its mechanics, you can structure your finances to harness compounding, minimize losses, and make your money work for you, not the other way around. Chapter 5. Spending smarter, not less. When most people think about growing their wealth, the instinct is to slash expenses. Frugality is often glorified as the ultimate key to financial success. But here's the catch: extreme penny pinching can lead to stress, resentment, and eventually giving up. True financial growth doesn't come from spending less. It comes from spending wisely. Wealth is built not by restricting your dollars, but by making each one work harder for you. The first step is learning to distinguish value from price. Many people judge purchases only by how much they cost. It's too expensive. I can't afford it, they reason. A smarter question is, what benefit will this provide me? A $1,000 tool that saves 10 hours of work per week or generates income can be far more worthwhile than a $20 item that only gives fleeting enjoyment. Money isn't just for buying things. It's an investment in your life and your future. This ties into understanding opportunity cost. Every dollar spent carries hidden consequences. When you spend, you're not only paying for the item, you're also passing up the chance to invest, save, or use that money in another productive way. Many people overlook this invisible cost, letting potential wealth slip away. Being intentional with spending means thinking about what each dollar could be achieving while it's in your hands. Another pitfall is unconscious spending. We live in an environment engineered to make us buy constantly. Ads, social media, and societal pressures nudge us toward things we don't truly need, often with borrowed money. Awareness is key. Before buying, ask, is this enhancing my life in a meaningful way, or am I doing it for show or boredom? Small, deliberate choices add up over time, creating significant financial freedom. Spending smarter also requires favoring long-term rewards over immediate gratification. That $5 coffee every morning may seem minor, but over a year, it totals more than $1,800. Imagine putting that same money into an investment instead. The aim isn't to remove joy from life. It's to align spending with your broader goals. Thoughtful spending allows you to enjoy today while building security and wealth for tomorrow. Lastly, let your money reflect your values. Many people spend reactively or impulsively rather than deliberately, but money is a tool for designing the life you want. When your purchases reflect what truly matters, health, learning, experiences, freedom, they become investments, not mere expenses. Shifting to this mindset turns routine spending into opportunities to grow wealth. Here's the key point. Building wealth isn't about sacrifice. It's about awareness, strategy, and intention. By focusing on value, weighing opportunity costs, avoiding mindless spending, and prioritizing long-term gains, your money can start working harder than you do. Spending smarter, not less, turns every dollar into a step toward freedom, control, and lasting financial success. Chapter 6. Debt isn't evil if you know how to use it. For many people, debt feels like an automatic red flag. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages are often associated with stress and poor financial decisions. While borrowing can absolutely become harmful when mismanaged, debt itself isn't automatically bad. Used thoughtfully and with a clear purpose, it can actually help build wealth. The key is understanding which debts move you closer to your goals and which ones slowly drain your progress. To start, consider what's often labeled as unproductive or bad debt. This usually involves borrowing for things that lose value quickly or don't offer any financial benefit in return. High-interest credit card balances, costly car loans, or money spent on short-lived wants are common examples. This kind of debt tends to grow heavier over time as interest compounds, making it harder to get ahead and easier to feel stuck. On the other hand, productive or good debt is taken on with a longer-term benefit in mind. This includes borrowing to purchase assets or opportunities that can increase in value or produce income. Examples might be funding a business, investing in real estate, or paying for education that significantly improves earning potential. The defining feature of good debt is that it's meant to create more value than it costs. This idea connects closely to leverage, the strategic use of borrowed money to access opportunities sooner or on a larger scale. Real estate is a classic example. Instead of paying the full price up front, you use a mortgage to control a valuable asset. If the property appreciates or generates income, the loan supports growth rather than limiting it. Many financially successful individuals don't avoid debt entirely. They learn how to use it deliberately. That said, debt only works when it's managed carefully. Even borrowing with good intentions can backfire if there's no clear plan or if the payments exceed what you can realistically handle. Understanding your finances, planning repayment, and being honest about future income all matter. Debt should be a conscious decision, never a spontaneous one. Mindset also matters. Some people avoid all debt out of fear and miss valuable opportunities, while others borrow recklessly and pay the price later. Education makes the difference. When you understand how interest works, how risk can be managed, and how leverage is applied, debt becomes less intimidating and more predictable. In the end, debt isn't the real problem. Poor decisions are. When you learn to distinguish between helpful and harmful borrowing, apply leverage wisely, and stay disciplined, debt becomes a tool rather than a burden. Used correctly, it can support long-term growth and financial independence instead of standing in your way. Chapter 7. The secret power of investing early. One of the biggest misunderstandings about money is underestimating the value of time. Many people put off investing because they feel they don't earn enough yet, worry about making mistakes, or assume it's something to deal with far in the future. Meanwhile, Those who begin early are steadily building wealth as their money grows faster with each passing year. At the core of early investing is compounding. Compounding happens when your investments generate gains, and those gains begin producing gains as well. It's similar to planting a tree. Growth may seem slow at first, but as the roots deepen, it accelerates. The more years you give your money, the more powerful this effect becomes. Even small, regular contributions can turn into a surprisingly large amount over time, while delaying just a few years can mean missing out on massive growth. A common fear is that investing requires a lot of money or expert-level knowledge. In reality, neither is necessary. You don't need to outsmart the market or make perfect choices. What matters most is developing the habit of investing consistently and thinking long-term. Starting with small amounts and sticking to simple options, like diversified, low-cost funds, can be enough to build meaningful wealth over decades. Managing risk is another essential part of investing. While all investing carries some uncertainty, it's not the same as reckless behavior. Risk can be reduced by diversification, which means not putting all your money in one place. By spreading investments across different assets and sectors, you protect yourself from any single setback causing major damage. People who understand this use risk wisely, while those who avoid it completely often miss out on long-term growth. Beginning early also reinforces a powerful truth. Long-term patience beats trying to guess the perfect moment. Many investors lose money by jumping in and out of the market based on emotions or headlines. Successful investors, on the other hand, stay focused on the big picture. Short-term ups and downs are normal, but over long periods, markets have historically moved upward. Time smooths out volatility and rewards discipline. Beyond finances, early investing creates flexibility in life. When your money starts working for you sooner, it can eventually reduce your dependence on a paycheck. This opens the door to more choices, whether that means exploring new career paths, starting a venture, or enjoying a more comfortable future. Early investing isn't just about wealth. It's about control over your time and decisions. The main lesson is simple. Building wealth isn't only about income. It's about starting early. Compounding grows stronger with time, but only if you begin. Take action sooner rather than later. Invest consistently. Be thoughtful about risk and allow time to amplify your efforts. In wealth building, those who move early gain an advantage that becomes harder and harder to overcome. Chapter 8. Avoiding the money traps. Even people who earn well can unknowingly undermine their financial future. The financial world is filled with subtle traps, costly products, deceptive offers, and mental habits that slowly chip away at wealth. Because these dangers aren't obvious, many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. Learning to spot and avoid these pitfalls is essential if you want your money to last and grow. One of the biggest threats is high-interest debt. Credit cards, payday loans, and similar borrowing options often feel helpful in the short term, but their interest grows fast and aggressively. Many fall into this cycle by downplaying how quickly balances expand or by assuming they'll pay it off soon. A smart rule to follow is to avoid debt for everyday spending and only use credit when it clearly supports long-term financial goals. Another silent drain is fees. Charges attached to bank accounts, investments, insurance plans, and advisory services can quietly eat into your money. A fee of just 1 or 2% may not sound like much, but over many years it can erase a huge portion of your returns. Because these costs are often buried in fine print, people tend to accept them without question. Paying attention, asking questions, and choosing low-cost options can make a massive difference over time. Fraud and unrealistic investment promises are another common hazard. Pyramid schemes, shady investments, and easy money opportunities succeed because they target emotions, not logic. They sell excitement, urgency, and the illusion of fast success. The best defense is skepticism. If the promise sounds effortless or the returns seem unbelievable, it's a warning sign. Long-term wealth grows through patience, not shortcuts. Social comparison is another powerful trap. Watching peers or influencers flaunt expensive lifestyles can make overspending feel normal or even necessary. Without realizing it, people tie their self-worth to what they own instead of what they're building. This mindset often leads to debt and financial stress rather than true security. Real progress comes from focusing on your own goals and measuring success by stability, freedom, and net worth, not appearances. Inaction is one of the most overlooked traps of all. Hesitation, fear of making mistakes, or simply feeling overwhelmed can stop people from investing, negotiating pay, or planning ahead. While it may feel safe to wait, doing nothing allows inflation, missed growth, and unnecessary costs to quietly do damage. Taking small, thoughtful steps, learning, deciding, adjusting, helps you stay ahead instead of falling behind. The core lesson is this: building wealth isn't only about how much you earn or save, it's also about what you avoid. By staying alert, thinking critically, and acting with intention, you can protect your resources from forces that slowly destroy them. These habits aren't flashy, but they're incredibly powerful. When you avoid the traps, your money works with you, not against you. Chapter 9. The invisible forces that shape your financial life. Many people assume that money success follows a simple formula. Put in the hours, increase your income, save consistently, and everything will work out. In practice, it's not that straightforward. Behind every financial decision are unseen influences, psychological tendencies, emotional reactions, and social dynamics that quietly guide your behavior. These factors aren't usually discussed, yet they play a decisive role in whether you move toward stability or repeat the same financial struggles. Learning to see them clearly is like gaining a new sense. You start noticing patterns that were always there. One of the most powerful hidden influences is the behavior of the people around you. Humans naturally copy what they see, often without conscious thought. When your circle normalizes overspending, debt, or status-driven purchases, those habits can feel acceptable, even inevitable. On the other hand, being around people who plan ahead, invest wisely, and think long-term can raise your own standards. Your environment constantly nudges your choices, and ignoring its impact can quietly derail your progress. Mental shortcuts are another force shaping your financial life. The brain prefers ease and speed over careful analysis, which can lead to predictable mistakes. For instance, we tend to favor immediate pleasure over future gain, making short-term spending more appealing than long-term investing. We also gravitate toward information that confirms what we already believe, dismissing warnings or data that challenge our views. These thinking patterns can lock people into unproductive financial behaviors. Simply recognizing them gives you the chance to pause and choose differently. Emotional responses often influence money decisions more than logic ever does. Anxiety can cause people to avoid opportunities that involve risk, even when the odds are in their favor. Excitement and overconfidence can push others into impulsive choices with serious consequences. Comparison and jealousy can fuel spending meant to impress rather than to build security. Developing emotional awareness allows you to separate how you feel from what makes sense, turning reactions into intentional decisions. Cultural expectations also exert quiet pressure. Many people are taught a standard financial script: study, work steadily, save modestly, and eventually retire. While this approach can provide stability, it often overlooks tools that accelerate wealth building, such as investing early, ownership, and thoughtful risk-taking. Society tends to celebrate visible success rather than sound financial judgment. Once you recognize this, you can focus on progress that serves your future instead of chasing approval. Then there is momentum, or lack of it. Financial outcomes are rarely shaped by one big decision. They are built from repeated small actions. Minor choices like postponing savings, paying only the minimum on debt, or avoiding financial education seem harmless on their own. Over time, however, they compound dramatically. Shifting your daily habits, even slightly, can have a far greater impact than a raise or a lucky break. The core message is this: money management is not just about math. It is deeply influenced by forces you may not notice unless you look for them. Social cues, mental biases, emotions, cultural messages, and habits all steer your financial path. Most people struggle not because they lack effort, but because they never learn to identify these influences. Once you become aware of them, you gain control, and that awareness can be the foundation for lasting financial growth. Chapter 10. The path most people never take. Everything discussed so far leads to a single truth: building real wealth has very little to do with luck, natural brilliance, or landing an impressive job title. It comes from choosing behaviors most people resist. The journey toward long-term financial independence is usually quiet, uncomfortable, and far from flashy. It often clashes with a culture that celebrates quick wins and instant rewards. Yet those who stay on this course almost always pull ahead in the end. The starting point is ownership over your finances. Many people let money control them instead of the other way around, spending based on mood, pressure, convenience, or comparison. Financial independence demands a different approach. Money must be directed with purpose. Each dollar should serve a role, whether that's strengthening assets, producing future income, or supporting long-term plans. This level of clarity comes only from awareness. Tracking what you earn and spend, setting priorities, and making choices that reflect where you want to be years from now. Next comes patience paired with discipline. It's tempting to look for fast results through speculation, trends, or promises of easy wealth. While these options are appealing, they rarely deliver lasting success. Sustainable growth is built through repetition and consistency, saving regularly, investing wisely, improving skills, and staying committed even when progress feels slow. Compounding doesn't make noise, but over time it creates outcomes that shortcuts almost never match. Another defining feature of this uncommon path is a commitment to learning. Formal education often skips over practical financial skills, leaving people unprepared to manage, grow, or protect their money. Income alone doesn't guarantee stability or success. The difference maker is understanding how money works and how to use it effectively. Those who actively study finances, investing, and decision-making gain confidence and control that others never develop. Diversification of income is also critical. Depending entirely on one source of earnings, even a strong one, creates vulnerability. Jobs can disappear, markets can shift, and life can interrupt plans without warning. People who build wealth spread their income across multiple channels, such as investments, businesses, property, or creative ventures. This structure not only increases potential earnings, but also provides protection when one stream slows or stops. At its core, this path is about purpose. Money by itself has little meaning. Its true value lies in what it allows you to do, how you spend your time, who you help, and which opportunities you can pursue. When finances are aligned with personal values, money becomes a tool rather than a burden. Many never reach this stage because they chase income or possessions without defining what they actually want their wealth to support. The message is simple but challenging. Financial freedom is not accidental. It requires focus, learning, restraint, thoughtful risk-taking, and a willingness to move against the crowd. Those who stay consistent and intentional often find themselves far ahead, not just financially, but in the range of choices available to them. Their wealth is measured not only in dollars, but in autonomy, security, and possibility. In the end, the decision is personal. You can follow familiar patterns and accept the limits most people live with, or you can choose a quieter, more demanding route, one shaped by strategy, awareness, and deliberate action, and create a financial future that few ever reach.